Welcome to my YouTube channel. I am Chufi Joan, your humble host, and I'm happy to be here once more with you, for you, and to do this journey with you. Greetings to you, and I hope this video meets you very well, and I hope you're doing great. So, before we proceed with today's video, I hope you watched our previous video. I hope you've subscribed. If you've not subscribed yet, if this is your first time on our channel, please subscribe, like, and share. And most importantly, please comment. Share your experiences based on the topics of the video, and let's all interact, okay? Because this is a learning curve for all of us. And yeah, knowledge is empowerment, and we need each other to grow, right? So, that said, we're going to move straight into today's video, and today we'll be talking about a very important topic, like I promised in the previous video, and it's going to be on self-validation. So, validation on its own has many definitions, but we are going to be focusing on self-validation, which is in alignment with our YouTube channel. And yeah, so what is self-validation? Permit me, guys, to use my notes because I took down a lot of points so that I don't talk off context, okay? So, self-validation could be defined as the process of recognizing, accepting, and acknowledging the value, the worth, and legitimacy of oneself, legitimacy of oneself, one's feelings, thoughts, and experience. Okay, so self-validation is the fact that whatever you're feeling is legit. You get it, it's legit. And it involves acknowledging that one's emotions, one's needs, and desires are valid and above all deserving of respect. Okay, so that is self-validation. And it could come from many factors, you know. So, self-validation, of course, as per this definition, is good, but unfortunately, we have some shells that hold us back from self-validating. And we are going to be breaking down those shells in the course of this video. So, what factors could influence our self-validation? We could have internal factors such as low self-esteem, such as doubt and fear, such as trauma, childhood trauma, such as fear of rejection. Oh, sorry, childhood trauma doesn't fall under internal but external. So we could have self-doubt, low self-esteem, fear of rejection, and much more. So those are things that come from within, but of course they are inspired by experiences, right? And then external influences that could hold us back from self-validating could be our societal expectations, childhood experiences, social media pressures. That's a thing right now, right? Social media pressures. It's a whole thing right now. So, how do we identify that we are suffering from the shells that hold us back from self-validation? There are many aspects of life that we may have not paid attention to, but are holding us back from self-validating, from knowing that our feelings, our emotions are valid and deserving of respect. So if you begin to identify things like constantly seeking someone's approval to do something, you know, it's different from having a mentor, having someone who's excelled in a particular field and seeking for their advice, maybe in going on with a project in the field in which they've made a lot of success in. That's different. Of course, it's advised to reach out to people who do better in a field compared to you in case you want to go into that field, right? But constantly seeking approval means you're telling yourself you're not good enough to make this decision and you need someone to validate it. And when you're going on with it, it's like, oh, A said this is good, B said this is good, C said this is good, so I can do it. It's not about what you really want, how you really feel about this thing, and how you want to do it. So if you're constantly in that pot, in that situation, in that hole, where you're constantly seeking approval from left, right, center, north, west, and I don't know what, then, dear friend, you could be suffering from a shell holding you back from self-validating. Also, if you are a people's pleaser, I know we've heard a lot about that term, or we've heard the term often. If you're a people's pleaser, always trying to be on the good book of people, not doing exactly what is right, but just trying to please people. Like you have maybe a friend who does something wrong, or who does wrong stuff, and you can't tell them to their face that, hey, this thing you're doing is not right, because you want to maintain the friendship, you're afraid to ruin a relationship. Of course, that you should be able to have judgment on when to speak the truth, right? It's not just speaking the truth because you want to hurt somebody or have the satisfaction that you've hurt somebody, or yeah, but if you're the person, I think you know what I mean. If you're the person who can't speak the truth because you're afraid to be on a bad book, or you can't express exactly how you feel about something because you don't want to be on the other person's bad book, or yeah, there's so many examples to people pleasing, but if you identify with this kind of attributes, then I'm telling you, you have a shell to break. You have a shell to break so that you can self-validate, okay? And yeah, if you're suffering from self-doubt, low self-esteem, it could stem from many things. For example, someone who has no experience of being appreciated. I know we often say you should be able to appreciate yourself first. Don't count on people to say you look good and all of that. But we are human beings, right? And we are vulnerable. We have feelings, and everybody feels good when they are appreciated, when they are spoken highly of, when someone tells you you look good, you look gorgeous, you feel great, right? So some people need that to feel good about themselves. Unfortunately, it's not a good thing. So if you feel like you're not good enough, if you feel ugly, I'm telling you, if you feel like you need someone to tell you, oh, you look amazing, before you know that you have a mirror, right? Even without that, the Bible tells us we are created in God's image. So we are wonderfully made. So if you have those characteristics, then you have a shell to break. Okay, sometimes it could be trauma, it could be maybe you grew up in an environment where they always spoke down on you, like they tell you're not good enough. Oh, you stupid child. Maybe you failed an exam, you had to repeat a class, repeat an exam, and they tell you you're so dumb, you're not good enough, blah blah blah, you're going through stuff, and they keep telling you you're so, like they keep talking down on you. Those things get into people, and over time they actually believe that they are not good enough. For some people, it could be the social media. Like social media has it's made life great. At the same time, it has ruined a lot of people's lives because some people are so confident. Some people can go on and on posting stuff. They post their pictures. They look good. Some people know how to do a lot of stuff, video editing, for example. Some people are great, like they're really talented, and you could want to venture into a field, for example, and you see people that have excelled in that field, and you just feel like, oh, I can't do this. This person is so good at it. It's for this type of people. For example, when I was starting, this YouTube channel is just new, right? When I was starting the YouTube channel, and I was asking around, like asking people who already have channels, like for a year, 2 years, 3 years, and more, and I'm asking them, how do I go about this? How do I thrive in this? How do I do this? And the reference they have, or most of the advice, or most of the comments or the critics I had, is based on the top, which is good, right? But it's not like very few people are encouraging to say you can do it, go on, you can do it. I had someone or some people telling me, like, there's a standard for this and you have to meet that standard. You have to, so for example, if you're trying to create a channel and then somebody will tell you, oh, you need to get an iPhone 16 Pro Max first, you need to get all these lights and this first, you need to get the microphone and this, like you need all these things to be able to start. If you don't have this, you can't excel. If you don't have that, you can't do that. All those things could bring you down and could make you feel like, oh, until I get to this point, I can't do this. It's okay to want to do better, but you have to believe in yourself, right? You have to believe in yourself. Don't allow the social media to bring you down. There are a lot of good things on social media. Don't use it to your detriment, okay? So we have those kind of factors that make us not realize that we are supposed to self-validate, and we are depending on on external factors to validate us instead of us realizing our worth and validating ourselves. You get, it's like a ripple effect. Like if you treat yourself nicely, every other person values you. If you look low on yourself, it's also a ripple effect because it affects every other thing that you're doing, right? So let's see if we have any other. I don't have any other points on that, but you could add points in the comment section, please. I'll be excited to see them. And I hope with the few points I've explained, you can understand where I'm driving at, right? So we go straight to strategies for self-validation. So if you found yourself in the previous point I just made, it's okay. This is the point where you can turn over to the better side, okay? So I'll give you some ideas that I researched on that can help us to self-validate. For example, journaling. Journaling simply means like writing down your thoughts, how you feel, your expectations. You just write them down so that you can know yourself better. When you journal, like you read, you go back and then you read how you feel, what you think about, and you can better assess yourself, right? And then you can do self-inquiry. You ask yourself questions like, what am I proud of? What do I feel great about? What am I grateful for? You see, just ask yourself questions that can help you evaluate yourself, right? Self-compassion. Come on, guys. I always tell you guys, you're doing great. You're doing amazing. Wear your crowns. Wear your crowns. You deserve them. Be compassionate with yourself. Be kind to yourself. Tell yourself kind words. Tap yourself on the back, on the chest, wherever. Be warm to yourself and tell yourself you're doing great. Okay? Treat yourself. Treat yourself. Treat yourself. If you're a guy and you shave your hair or you do your hair, whatever, guy or lady, cut your hair, give yourself a good haircut, give yourself good hairstyles, go for whatever, physical exercise, buy new clothes that you can afford, buy yourself new shoes, look good, smell good, treat yourself, take care of yourselves, okay? Self-forgiveness, pardon yourself. Nobody is perfect. We all go through stuff and we all do things that are not good, okay? Forgive yourself. Promise yourself to do better. Make efforts to do better. Set boundaries. This is very important. Very, very important. Set boundaries. Be able to identify good energy and bad energy. Trust me, most times we're not able to really come out. Like we make 2 steps forward and 10 steps backward because we are constantly surrounded with bad energy. Set boundaries. I want to believe that there's a season that you're supposed to be in people's lives and people are supposed to be in your lives. And after that season, it becomes very toxic. You can't tell me you have 10 true, real friends. Like, it's always a smaller circle, right? So, I'm saying this to say that set boundaries. Set boundaries. In every relationship you have, I think you meet people for different reasons. And people are in your lives for different reasons. Be able to identify those reasons and stick to them. I don't mean you should be selfish or manipulative or use people, but set boundaries. You know what I mean? Set boundaries. Make sure you're in the right energy, you're working the right frequency, the right energy. If something begins to take you out of your values, your worth, if you're beginning to feel like you're less of yourself in anybody's company, you cut it off. It's better to be cut off peacefully than to be in a very toxic space. So set boundaries. Very important. Set boundaries. Recognize your weaknesses and work on them. It's not a crime. Everybody has weaknesses. Recognize them, write them down, and make efforts to work on them. Don't be on the same spot. Make efforts to work on them. Over time, you build consistency and you become a better person. Okay? Set goals. Attainable goals, achievable goals. Set goals. Little goals. It can be as little as, I don't know, any small thing. Set goals. Attainable goals, okay? Surround yourself with positivity, supportive relationships, positive media content. There are so many positive media content online. You can spend time on social media with positive media content, okay? Practice gratitude. There's nothing more powerful than being appreciative. Practice gratitude. Appreciate people, appreciate your family, appreciate your friends, appreciate yourself. Practice gratitude. Be grateful. Many unhappy people are very ungrateful people. Be grateful. Practice for the tiniest things, for the air you breathe. Be very grateful. Even if things don't seem as good as you expect them to be, make sure to identify the little things that you're deserving of and be grateful for them, and watch your life take a different turn. Okay, so I think I've exhausted my points, and I hope that these are very helpful for you. I went on to see that there's some mobile apps that could help us to how do they say it? To implement self-validation strategies. So you could check out Happify, you could check out Calm, and you could check out Day One. So I'm going to write these mobile apps on the description of this video. So I've not checked them out. I just saw them while I was researching to talk on this. So I'm going to be checking them out as well later on. But please feel free to check them out. And if they are good, I hope they are able to help you in one way or another. Thank you so much. Please remember to subscribe to this channel if you're new here. Comments, please, I appreciate your comments. Like and share. And remember that you are enough. You are enough. You owe nobody an explanation. You are enough. And you're doing great. Take your flowers. Take your crowns. You are doing great. You are doing very great. Thank you for spending time with me. And we look forward to our next video, which is also going to be very powerful. Thank you for your time. Thank you for watching. And until next time, I remain your humble host, Chufi. See you. Bye.